Hello, this is the Predator here with my Blue Eyes friend here with a lovely Matt, as you can see, and we're going to be reviewing his Blue Eyes deck, and as you can see by his shirt...
Blue Eyes White Christmas, people. Remember it.
Alright, let's see what you got.
Okay, well, since this is a Blue Eyes deck, it's obvious that you want to run 3 copies. It's a huge beater that's pretty well known. I'm pretty sure even people who don't play the fucking game have at least heard about it.
Okay, and one thing I want to mention is that this is not your standard Blue Eyes deck where you could go to competitive with. This is just a casual build for the Fusion variant.
Although I'm working on making it somewhat viable. Because I actually have been thinking about it thanks to Predator, and I'm almost there. Just need to make one more edit. That'll probably be done soon after the video goes up.
Right.
But back to what we were saying. And on top of Blue Eyes White Dragon, you also want to have 3 Blue Eyes alternative White Dragons. It's really easy to get out. All you have to do is have him and standard Blue Eyes in your hand at the same time, reveal the original, and you can instantly special summon it. In full disclosure, this card once was pretty expensive. I had to go through quite a bit of hell to get it myself, but as you can see, I got him. Really good. And
next on the list,
3 Alexandrite Dragons, because my deck is centered around a lot of spamming normal monsters and just using them as support for the extra deck, which we'll get into a bit later. They're really helpful in a lot of cases. And now we move on to Sage with Eyes of Blue, one of the best playmakers for the deck.
Normally in a Blue Eyes build, you want to run 3 Sages, but he's actually running 2.
The only reason I run 2 is because I find it manageable on its own. It's more than enough in this case, and it actually opens the doors to a lot of plays. Just simply normal summoning it is a free search. Which alone makes it amazing. You can
search another combo piece if you would like, or an effect veiler in this case.
Yeah, it searches level 1 light tuner monsters really good. And if you send one effect monster on the field, like per se White Son of Legend, who we'll get into soon, you can send it to the graveyard along with Sage, and instantly special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon to the field.
And instantly search another Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Because of White Son of Legend, which we will talk about right now. Just sending this card to the graveyard gets you to search for a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Now again, another 2 copies.
Because it's good enough for me. It's also a tuner, which opens even more floodgates for extra deck support. And now there's the second White Stone. This is the White Stone of Ancients, another tuner monster who also works as a pretty good combo piece.
And plus, Egg isn't a monster type.
Yeah, Egg is not a monster type. But otherwise, it would be the White Egg of Legends. But Egg is not a monster type, so I guess they just use Dragon to compensate. But White Stone of Ancients is also pretty good, and my preferred of the 2 White Stones. If this card is sent to the graveyard, if this card is sent to the graveyard at the end of the turn, just by sending it there at all, allows you to special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck the turn it's sent to the graveyard during the end phase. You can also banish this card to add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon monster from your graveyard back to your hand, allowing for more plays to be executed. Now we move on to the dragon staple, the legend himself, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon.
pretty self-explanatory, allowing you to banish one dragon monster to just special summon him, and then allowing you to special summon any dragon
from hand or graveyard once per turn. It is an amazing card, solid staple in any dragon
And
build.
for those of you that are new to the game and are actually wanting to actually do some more casual plays, but actually trying to make your deck as viable as possible, you should probably know that you cannot run 3 of these because it's limited for a reason.
You can only use one.
Look up Dragon Rulers and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Now there's Keeper of Dragon Magic, who is only here for extra deck support. But the turn you summon him, you can discard 1 card from your hand and add 1 Polymerization normal spell card from your deck to your hand. He also has a second effect, which is pretty cool. Just reveal a fusion monster from your deck and special summon one of the fusion materials required for that fusion monster and special summon it in face down defense position.
He's actually a pretty good option to search out a poly.
Yeah, really good. Highly recommend at least one for Blue Eyes builds. Now there's the King of Dragons, who again is just here for spell support. He searches out. Whenever you summon him, you can discard 1 card and add either the Flute of Summoning Dragons, the Melody of Awakening Dragons, or Dragon Revival Rhapsody from your deck to your hand. I only use 1 though, and it's a run by preference, so take your pick. Infinitely less important is Exploder Dragon. He's just there for trolling. He's just really fun. Now there's Polymerization. You want to run at least 2, but I run 3 because I have a lot of fusion monsters in my extra deck. So, self-explanatory. Monster Reborn, also self-explanatory. Don't get me started.
A lot of people have been running Monster Reborn.
Now for Silver's Cry, the one edit that will be made after this video goes up. I'm wanting to replace it with Return of the Dragon Lords because it's just a much better card, but this card special summons normal dragon types from the graveyard.
Now, for people that do competitive play, people usually run 2 of these in a Blue Eyes build or Red Eyes if you're actually into that, and 3 copies.
Silly.
And 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords along with these, and along with a Monster Reborn. Some builds do that, although I haven't seen a lot of them doing it.
But as of right now, these work fine enough for me, so that's why they're here. Now there's the Melody of Awakening Dragons, which we mentioned earlier with King of Dragons. This card is made strictly for Blue Eyes. Just discard 1 card from your hand and add up to 2 Dragon-type monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. My personal favorite thing to do with this card is use King of Dragons to search this card out, then activate this card, discard, and then search 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon and 1 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon because that's an instant alternative, which is really good. Now there's Trade-In, which is just draw power. You discard 1 level 8 monster from your hand and then draw a card. Draw 2 cards, my bad. Really good. White Elephant's Gift. This is another reason why I have 3 Alexandrite Dragons. You send 1 non-effect monster from your field to the graveyard, then draw 2 cards. Really good. Cards of Consonance.
Pretty self-explanatory, really.
Discard one Dragon-type tuner monster with 1,000 or less attack from your hand, and then draw 2 cards.
And it's even telling you in the artwork what you want to send.
Always use it on one of the white stones. But the card itself is telling you to do it to White Stone of Legend, so it works with Ancients as well, so take your pick. Foolish Burial, which is really good. It's one of the best graveyard setup cards in the game. It's an absolute staple. Use one. Raigeki, just mass destruction. Magical Mallet, basically pick what you get in your hand, essentially. You send cards from your hand to the graveyard.
Basically
shuffle-
trying to reset your hand for a better play.
Yeah, it's really good. 1 for 1, you send one monster card from your hand to the graveyard, and then special summon 1 level 1 tuner type monster from your deck to the field.
It's just any one level 1, doesn't have to be a tuner.
Oh, that's true. Listen to Matt, guys. He's better at this than me. Dragon Shrine. Again, really good graveyard setup. Send 1 dragon type monster from your deck to the graveyard, but if you send a normal monster, you get to send another one. Double graveyard setup. Really good for combos. Jar of Avarice, it's good deck recovery. You pick 5 cards from your graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck, then draw a card. Really good.
It's really good recycling.
Now there's Blackhorn of Heaven, which is just special summon negation, which in the way the game is now, you really want to do that. Yeah, it stops 1 special summon, and it's really good. It even destroys the monster after the negation. It's really good. And now we move on to Dimension Guardian, which is basically a middle finger to destruction at all for any given monster you use this card on. It's pretty good. Not necessarily required. I just run 2 by preference.
And now we're moving on to the extra deck.
Now we move on to Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, which is arguably the big boss monster of my deck. It requires.
And while he's not an on-the-spot game ender, unlike Twin Burst is, if you're running a fusion build like he is, just based on this monster itself, he's
3.
He's not a big issue to bring out.
No.
As far as I've seen.
His requirements are three Blue Eyes White Dragons for his fusion summon. This card's effect is your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and destroy it instantly. It's really good. But if this card was fusion summoned using a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon as a fusion material, you get 3 destructions instead of 1. But either way, he cannot attack after using this effect either way. So you have to be kind of careful and pick your targets wisely.
And he has 4,500 attack points, which is already bigger than Quasar.
And 3,800 defense, so he can take hits and dish out a ton of damage. He's pretty good. That's why I run 3 of him. He's also pretty easy to get a hold of. Your odds of getting him are really good if you buy the 2019 Mega Tins.
And he's not that expensive, is he?
No, he's like $2 or something.
Yeah, $2 on the market.
Now on to First of the Dragons, who is one of the easiest fusion monsters to get out in recent memory that I know of. He's also another reason why I run 3 Alexandrite Dragons. He just requires 2 normal monsters, and he can't be destroyed in battle by effect monsters, which is really good from what I've seen. Now for another card that isn't necessarily needed, but I run him because of preference, 5-Headed Dragon. Everyone's probably heard of this card. For better or for worse, take your pick.
And remember, this is just a casual deck, so obviously feel free to run it if you feel like it.
For his fusion requirement, all he requires is 5 dragon type monsters and must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned in any other way. But he also cannot be destroyed by battle with a dark, earth, water, fire, or wind monster. Really good.
Also, that alternate artwork looks badass.
Yes. Number 107, Galaxy Ice Tachyon Dragon. He's basically just a big stupid beater that basically powers himself up on top of negating all effects on the field in terms of monster effects. Really good.
During the battle phase.
Yeah, during battle phase. Now for True King of all calamities, who is the key part of a combo that we will get into here in a second. And I'm going to have Matt help me out with that.
Yeah. Well, just leave that out on the field right now.
Now there's Saryuja the Skull Dread.
I recommend this to everybody.
It can be run in any deck. He is a fantastic card. But Matt, you take the rope.
Well, how to use Saryuja is, well, I usually run him in decks that could actually spam out a board. So like Red Dragon Archfiends, Endymions, sometimes even Blue Eyes. But for Endymions, I usually before the ban list, I usually get out Electromite, then I get out Daybreaker, and then I use those two to go into Saryuja, and basically use his effect to special summon a monster from my hand. But if I have like 4 other monsters that I could care less about going into the extra deck if they're pendulums.
Yeah, always go for all 4 of his effects, guys. That's where he's at his best.
That's where he's at his best, and even Crystal Beasts could actually run him with all effects, so it's a pretty good option.
Considering they're all about spamming these days. Now there's Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Most people run 2 of them. 2 of them, I only run 1.
And for those of you with recent memory back in 2016, you might actually remember this being in the championship.
He was the key card that won Worlds that year for Blue Eyes.
Yes, and reason being is that Konami actually wanted to promote the movie Dark Side of Dimensions. I recommend you go watch it. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah, really good. Now there's Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, which isn't technically a Blue Eyes card, but all Blue Eyes decks run it at this point. Let's be real here. He requires 1 tuner monster and 1 or more non-tuner normal monsters on the field. When this card is special summoned, dragon-type monsters you currently control cannot be destroyed by card effects for the remainder of the turn. Also, during each of this card's controller's standby phases, they get to special summon one dragon-type normal monster from their deck, namely Blue Eyes White Dragon. Let's just be real.
Or an Alexandrite if you really feel like going into XZs. I don't even think you have rank 4s in that, do you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, never mind. Don't go into Alexandrite.
Also, I run 2 copies of it. It just helps the deck even more. And now for the combo piece for True King of all calamities, Cloud Castle.
It requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters, and whenever it's synchro summon, you can target 1 level 9 monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. Level 8 or lower monsters can attack the turn they are normal or special summon. I mean, that's fine. I mean, he's not going to even be on the field
for very long
because you're going into True King just to negate the opponent's board.
Yeah, because how True King of all calamities works
is that like
he changes the attributes of everything.
You detach a material during either player's turn and then declare an attribute. All face-up monsters on the field become that attribute, and their effects are negated
if they're under the opponent's control.
Yes. So
really good combo.
It's a good card. It shuts the opponent down for you to actually get a chance to play the game.
Really good. And now for side deck, which is it's a Blue Eyes deck, and this is a casual build, so I really just picked some stuff that I thought would help, such as Master with Eyes of Blue, who is another tuner monster who can be targeted by 1/1 or Sage with Eyes of Blue if you prefer. When this card is normal or special summon, target one level 1 tuner monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can shuffle this card from your graveyard to the deck, then target 1 effect monster you control and send it to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard.
Now,
other than the scent monster.
Now,
it's alright.
Now, normally, people would want to run one of him. Because he's good. He's good recovery. He messes around with the graveyard. Actually, back in 2016 for the World Championship,
The winner
One-
of Worlds
one
actually
guy-
ran 2 copies.
actually ran 2 copies of this, which is something that is that was very odd at the time, because like normally only running one of these was like fine. So it was a pretty odd option, but
It's also kind of a run by preference card. It's not needed. Now for Honest, she just acts as an attack boost during the battle phase, which can really screw over your opponent, and it's such a trolling move, and it pisses them off, and it's so much fun. Really fun. Assault Wyvern, a pretty simple card. If it destroys an opponent's monster during battle phase, you can special summon 1 dragon type monster from your hand or graveyard. But the only drawback is you have to sacrifice Assault Wyvern.
exactly.
Neo Kaiser Glider. It's pretty simple. You can discard this card and add one monster, and then target 1 dragon type normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can make all monsters your opponent controls lose attack and defense equal to the attack of that special summon monster.
Right.
Pretty good. Another kind of unnecessary card, Deep Eyes White Dragon. He's just a recover card for whenever a Blue Eyes monster you control is destroyed. Whenever a Blue Eyes monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this monster from your hand, and he gains the attack of one monster in your graveyard. Yeah, and if he's destroyed by card effect, you get to destroy all of your opponent's monsters and deal damage to your opponent equal. Yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty good. Effect Veiler, it's a hand trap. You discard it and negate effects
During the opponent's main phase.
Yeah, pretty simple. Breakthrough Skill, also an effect negator. And it's reusable, so because it has a graveyard effect, you can banish it from the graveyard on top of the first negation and negate another effect just by banishing it. Pretty good. Rising Energy, discard 1 card, 1 monster you control gains 1500 attack. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, reusable attack negation. Nutrient Z, health recovery. Dark Ruler no more.
Everybody's favorite.
Sorry, David. And Giant Trunade, which is just back row bouncing. It returns.
I said that it's a casual build. I never said it was like
competitively viable.
Well, I never said it was like legal.
Yeah.
Now,
What's not legal?
Giant Trunade.
It's
Okay. All right.
and that's it.
That was the deck review. All right.
And if you couldn't tell already, Blue Eyes are my absolute favorite. I mean, look at the mat, the t-shirt, and even my stupid field center that I got from Dual Power. From Dual Devastator, I'm sorry.
He's a big Blue Eyes fan, and send him more Blue Eyes merch to his doorstep, won't you? All right.
Yeah. And that's it.
Please like and subscribe.
And that's it.